Hello and welcome to another installment of Metalhead Central, the show where I take an honest look at the harder side of music and give it an honest rating. Today, we're examining an album by a band whose return to the limelight has not been without its controversy. It's As I Lay Dying's new album, Shaped by Fire, which came out September 20th on the band's new label, Nuclear Blast. This is their first album in a while because their lead vocalist, Tim, recently spent a lot of time in prison for attempting to solicit somebody to murder his wife. Ugh. A lot of people are upset because the band has returned, and a very obvious reason for being upset. This guy, he did something that goes far beyond what any moral or decent human being would even think of doing. I mean, I can't comprehend somebody actually sitting down and planning something like this. I cannot think of it. So, as I said, it's understandable that people would be upset at his return to touring with this group, or this band's return to touring. But some others are willing to look at the band itself instead of just the one guy, and they're happy they're back, and they've done well on their tours from what I've seen. I mean, people are coming to see them. For me, I wasn't a huge fan of the band. I liked a couple of their songs, and while I definitely don't condone what Tim did, I'm not really in either camp here. I'm only here to review the one album. So, did they funnel all of the pain of the past few years into an amazing record? Let's find out. Emotions are definitely running high here, as right out of the gate, the guitar work and Jordan Mancino's drumming are as aggressive as they've ever been. The song Blinded talks about being taken out by pain, literally being blindsided by it, and then the title track almost serves as a rebuttal to that, speaking of being reborn through pain, or quite literally being shaped by fire. The anthemic choruses on these two tracks are catalysts for an internal debate that rages throughout the album. It's almost like the classic scenario where someone has an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other, you know, like you used to see in the older cartoons, and they can't decide which path to take. As the album continues, we hear Tim coming to terms with the crime he committed and just how bad it really was. The music backs this up, as the breakdowns are as heavy as anything out there, and the slams come hard and fast. Nick Hippa and Phyllis Grosso create an atmosphere befitting of the angry, self-loathing lyrics that Tim is spitting out. And quite literally, he is actually spitting out. I've never heard somebody sound so just upset with themselves on a record before. But nothing here feels out of place. The guitar solos back up what's happening in the rest of the song. You know, sometimes I find that a band will add just this random solo in that the song doesn't really call for. But here, that doesn't happen, and the album is better for it. Another thing I love about this album is that it doesn't take a lot to really dive in and pull apart what's going on. Sometimes a band just needs to throw something out there that isn't artsy and pretentious. Sometimes it just needs to slap you in the face and then sing to you, and that's exactly what this album does. I love every second of it. But the thing I love most about this album is its sense of redemption. Through the back half of the runtime, the lyrics turn from being about the pain of knowing that you've done something terribly wrong and feeling remorse and guilt for it, to recognizing that there's always a path to forgiveness and cohesive reunion with those you once loved and cared for. True, what you did may not be lost to time. The ending track on the album definitely deals with that, but there's a way to get past it and better yourself. It's not being used as a get-out-of-jail-free card here either. It sounds genuine and sincere, and the effort put into the album solidifies it 100%. Overall, I can't find a downside to this album. Some people might find it formulaic, and yeah, it may slow down a little bit towards the end, and some people may not give it a chance at all. But I highly, highly recommend it. It's a slab of aggressive metalcore that, as I said, slaps you in the face before singing to you. It is definitely Metalcore Album of the Year so far for me, and it's in the running for my favorite of the year, period. I'm giving As I Lay Dying's comeback album a 100 out of 100 on the YPS scale. Thank you so much for watching. Click like, and don't forget to subscribe for more Metalhead Central and the Metal Artist Review Show. Next week is a huge week for metal releases. What with Dragon Force, Opeth, Borknagar, and Steel Panther all putting out new albums. So, since I've done a ton of power metal on the channel before, I'm going to go ahead and review the new Opeth album. But for the record, I will be jamming the new Dragon Force as well. I hope you'll join me. You've been watching Metalhead Central, where I give honest ratings to honest music, and I'll see y'all next time.